also want to share with you another story as part of our Red, White, and Green Week here on MSNBC. The medicine veterans they say they need that their VA doctors cannot give them: cannabis, because of how it's classified by the federal government. We are back from our reporting trip to Hawaii, one of the first states to legalize medical marijuana, and where 1 in 10 Hawaiians is a military veteran. Some of whom we spoke with say the government needs to change how they think about cannabis for those who served. Now, a new push in Washington hopes to do just that.
On a spectacular stretch of land by the north shore of Oahu sits this farm. Its exact location not publicized for security reasons, because inside these greenhouses sit 400 cannabis plants grown by veterans for veterans.
So each of these plants belongs to somebody. Is that what these tags are on the bottom?
That's correct.
Here?
Yes, that's correct.
Jason Hanley runs this co-op farm where people grow their own medical marijuana, a lot cheaper than if they had to buy it somewhere else.
How many of those patients that you serve are veterans, would you say?
I would say about 50%.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of veterans.
These 10 plants belong to Gemma Osborne, a retired Air Force staff sergeant who was stationed in New York when 9/11 happened, deployed to the World Trade Center almost immediately after the towers fell.
About 7 or 8 of us got really sick, and I'm still the last survivor out of the group.
It is stage 4 kidney failure on both your kidneys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What does that do to you?
I vomit a lot. I get weak. Stomach pains that can kill.
Osborne was losing weight fast, in pain constantly, when she was persuaded to visit Hawaii.
So what happened the first time that you smoked cannabis to try to alleviate your symptoms?
I got really, really, really high. And that's important. So I didn't feel the pain.
Where would you be if you hadn't found this farm and you hadn't found cannabis?
Close to death, closer to death.
Cannabis works for Osborne and other vets like her. Problem is, they can't get it from the VA. It's against the law for government doctors to recommend it because marijuana is still classified as a Schedule I controlled narcotic. That means right now, even in the 36 states plus D.C. where medical marijuana is legal to treat conditions like chronic pain, vets can only access it if they find it on their own and pay for it out of pocket. Now, a new push in Washington hopes to change that.
When they say, hey, how come the VA can't do it? It's an affordability issue.
Virginia Senator Tim Kaine leading the way.
It might be a veteran saying, I've got chronic pain issues, but opioids are really dangerous. Marijuana is a better way to manage it. And yet the VA hospitals, even in the states like Virginia that allow use of marijuana, certainly for medical purposes, they can't offer that as an option.
Leah Kuntz thinks that's important. She's still struggling with PTSD after 14 years in the Navy.
We should have the choice, though. Like, we don't want to take pharmaceuticals. Awesome. We shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have that be our only option, to pain or pharmaceuticals.
A Veteran Affairs spokesperson tells NBC News the VA does not have a position on bills that would authorize cannabis use for vets. The VA pointing out its providers cannot help patients get it, but veterans will not be denied benefits for marijuana use. You could say some vets are fighting the country they fought for, but that's not how Osborne sees it.
I always tell people that's the best job I ever had.
Was in the Air Force?
In the Air Force.
You just want to see them open the door a little bit to something that has been stigmatized for a long time that you found is almost a miracle plant for you.
Absolutely. Not almost, it is.
Part of the reason why some vets argue that this is so important is because it really expands the toolkit for their doctors. Right now, there are only 2 drugs approved to treat PTSD, and a new one has not been approved in nearly 2 decades. So some advocates are now saying, hey, this might be the time to at least open the door to something new, something that they say works. We're going to have more of our cannabis coverage later tonight on NBC Nightly News and tomorrow right here on MSNBC Reports.